Okay, so today we're cracking open a guide that claims it can turn any manager into an AI wizard. But here's the twist. The real lesson isn't what's in the chapters. It's how the book itself was made. Let's dive in.
All right, first, the usual disclaimer. This is all for educational purposes, not professional or financial advice. Okay, let's go.
So we've got this book, AI-Driven Leadership, and boy, does it make a big promise. It's supposed to be the blueprint for leaders wanting to get on board with AI. And at first glance, it looks like the real deal. Seems like exactly what everyone's been looking for.
I mean, just look at this table of contents. It looks super comprehensive, right? It's got strategy, tools, ethics, the whole shebang. You'd think you were in for a masterclass. But, and this is a big but, once you start actually reading it, something just feels a little off. So this is where things get interesting. We're going to peel back the layers here, look under the hood. And trust me, what's inside is, well, it's pretty surprising. So it makes you wonder, right? If every single chapter is supposed to be about something new, what are they actually filled with? Okay, check this out. On the left, we have the common pitfalls from Chapter 2. On the right, the pitfalls from Chapter 8. See anything familiar? Yeah, they're identical. I mean, word for word. Kind of weird, don't you think? All right, maybe that was a fluke. Let's try again. Here are the core concepts from two totally separate chapters. One's on making big decisions, the other's on measuring results. And, yep, there it is again. It's the exact same list. Okay, now we've definitely got a pattern on our hands. So here's the big secret. This whole 10-chapter guide, it's not 10 different lessons. It's one single framework, repeated over and over and over. It's not a library of blueprints. It's just one blueprint run through a copy machine. But wait, here's a crazy thought. What if that's not a bug, but a feature? What if the book's biggest weakness is actually its greatest strength? What if that one single repeated framework is the only thing you really need to take away from this? Let's cut through all the noise and get right to the signal. And this is it. This is the golden nugget, the one core lesson. It's a simple 5-step framework for literally any AI project. First, you scope it. What problem are you actually trying to solve? Then, data. You know the saying, garbage in, garbage out, so get your data right. Next, you build the model. After that, you deploy it, but make sure you have a safety net or rollback plan. And finally, you operate. You watch it, you learn from it, you make it better. That's it. This loop is the entire engine of the whole book. And all those pitfalls that kept popping up? They're not just random warnings. They are literally what happens when you mess up one of these steps. For instance, if you're ignoring bias, well, you just failed the data step. Rolling something out without a monitor, you totally skipped deploy and operate. So you see, the framework isn't just a to-do list, it's basically a shield that protects you from the most common ways AI projects blow up. And hey, don't just take my word for it. The book's own case study spells it out. The successful team didn't just do some AI. No, they followed the framework. They scoped the problem by defining what fairness even meant. They dealt with the data by checking it for bias. And they planned for operation by making sure a human was in the loop. They just followed the steps.
So, what are we supposed to make of this very, very strange book? The real lesson isn't in Chapter 2 or Chapter 8. It's in the crazy, relentless focus on this one single process. But that still leaves the big question, why on earth was it written this way?
Well, if you dig all the way to the acknowledgments page, you find the answer. It says, and I quote, "The book was generated using automated ebook creation tools." Bam! The book was written by an AI. This wasn't some author getting lazy and hitting copy-paste. This was an algorithm just running its program. And knowing that, well, that changes absolutely everything. Suddenly, it all clicks into place. The repetition isn't a mistake. It's logical. The AI tasked with writing a book about AI leadership decided that this 5-step framework was the single most important thing to know. And it just drilled that point home with, machine-like persistence. The book's biggest flaw is actually its most brilliant feature. And that leaves us with a really fascinating thought to chew on. When an AI can literally write the manual on how to use AI, maybe the real skill for a leader isn't about knowing 100 different things. Maybe it's about having the wisdom to find that one core idea, that one framework that actually works, and then having the discipline to stick to it.